Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's call on money. And the topic that we are actually covering on the unquestionable questions is abuse with money, self abuse, abusing others with money. What is abuse? Abuse is an energy where you are forced to choose something, forced to do and be something that really doesn't work for you. That's not a choice. That's not something that you would like to have as your life, but you're forced into it either by somebody around you or you yourself. I mean, how many times have you abused yourself into believing that you don't have money and creating exactly that? Everything that is times a godzillion. Would you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, park, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Another thing that we do with abuse is we abuse ourselves to keep ourselves small. We allow abuse on ourselves financially and otherwise to keep ourselves small, to invalidate our very being. That doesn't allow us to know that we are the source of creation, that we the being can choose to create, include everything, including money. So when we start to operate as a finite being instead of the infiniteness of who we be, we start to believe in the inability to create money. We start to believe that others can control us because of money. So all those areas of your life where you have allowed abuse on you based on money, based on the lack of it, based on too much of it, based on not enough of it, would you please revoke, recant, reclaim, rescind, renounce, destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, park, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So friends, we've been talking about all different points of views around money these few days, and different, not just money. We've been talking about so many different energies right now in these beautiful calls. And after yesterday's Zoom call, I realized how many hidden points of views and how many definitions we have about money that has us abusing ourselves. It starts really young, It starts when you go to your parents for money as a child and you are asked by your parents, why do you need it? So when you are asked why do you need it, you buy the lie that you have to create a need to have money, which is an abuse. Because you don't require to create a need to have money. You can choose to have money. And wherever you have bought that lie and abused yourself, you will find that as a pattern in your life that you have to create a need to have money. And every time you go into the space of having a need, you go into creating a lack. So how does that work? It works really subtly. So subtly that you don't even recognize it starts to control you. So every time you create the money, you receive it, you have fun with it, and then you start to create the lack of it. So now there is reason and justification to create more again. So it's like you start to create the pain of having no money so you can create money. So how much of pain is attached to your creation and no creation of money? What do you abuse yourself with, and how do you abuse yourself? So you can justify the pain, so you can create that pain. And everywhere that you abuse yourself in that manner, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, park, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. The one question that I would really like you all to ask today is, what if there was no abuse of money? would I still choose to be abused? Is it the abuse that has me choosing to be abused with money and by money? Is it the abuse that I attract into my life? Or is it something else? Because if you knew that abuse was a choice too, and if you could choose different, would you still choose a lack of money, or would you choose to have a lack of money through abuse? You want to see that energy, friends. How many of you are choosing abuse to have a lack of money? Because you as an infinite being have no lack. And any time that you go into lack, you're abusing your being. You're forcing your being to be finite. So is it the abuse that attracts you to create that constantly? Or is it something else? If it is something else, you want to ask, what points of views do I have around creating no money? And everything that is, destroy and uncreate all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, power, call, 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So another thing that I would like to talk about today about abuse is that about abusing yourself with money is when we have an abuse with money, we create something known as a conflictual reality with money that has us constantly in conflict with money. It's like you're a little child, or you're a grown-up, or whatever. You go to your parents, or you go to your husband, or you go to your wife, or whatever, whoever you go to for money, guys, whoever that is, your granddad, grandmom, whatever, your boss, whoever that is. You're like, hey, can I have some money? I'd like to buy this. And they turn around and they say, no, we don't have the money. So what you are told is, we don't have the money. And the next day they go and buy something that's really, really expensive in your reality and way more than what you were asking for. So what that does, it creates this abuse of your being, that what your ask is not good enough, or it's not worth it, or you don't deserve it. So when you go into that space, you create a conflict with yourself and with money that has you creating a conflictual reality of having and not having. So there's this energy of where there is money, but then there's an energy of but I don't deserve it. That deservability is what you choose to create the conflictual reality that has you creating self-abuse. What if you could look at it and say, wow, interesting that they would choose to do that. Don't try to understand their choices. Just know that people choose what they choose simply because they can choose it. There is no need to understand their choices. What are you choosing? What are you choosing, friends? Are you choosing to come out of that conflictual reality? By asking. You can always ask a question like, whose conflictual reality is this? And when did I choose to make it mine? Whose conflictual reality, whose conflictual financial reality is this? And when did I choose to create that as mine? At what age and when? And everything that is times a godzillion, I destroy and uncreate it all and return it all to sender with consciousness attached. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, power, call, 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You're returning the points of views of the conflictual reality to the person you picked it up from with consciousness attached actually facilitates that person into making a different choice because you're attaching the consciousness to it, right? So you're not just sending the points of views back, you're actually recognizing that these are not my points of views and I'm going to send them back energetically through the person. So now that person and out of that person, creating a flow. So now that person has a choice to make a different, he has that option of making a different choice. So you're actually being a gift, not only to yourself, but to that person too. And when you be that, you actually destroy the reality, the conflictual reality that has been reigning you and that person. Over how many lifetimes, over how many decades. It's not important. It's not even important when you bought it. It's not important which lifetime you bought it in. It's not important whether it's your father's, mother's, grandfather's, friends, neighbors, dads. It's not important. It's really not important. What is really, what can really change it is your acknowledging that this is not mine. And this conflictual reality is what has me in conflict with myself and with money. So if I didn't have the conflictual reality with money, could I choose peace with it? And everything that doesn't allow me to have peace with money, peace with receiving, I destroy and uncreate all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shots, boys and beyonds. Okay, friends, so I shall see you all tomorrow with a fresh video. Love you guys. Bye.